Hi, everything changes. Everything is impermanent. A Buddhist friend of mine said that to me once, 2 weeks before he died. The reality is that our sense that things don't change is a work of the mind. Things are changing all the time. Every moment is new. Every time you drive on the highway, even though it's the same old highway, new placement of cars, a new experience. But we learn to experience as though it's the same, and we go on automatic pilot. But that's not what I'm here to talk to you about today. I'm here to talk to you about the big changes. Have you had a big change in your life? Has the universe given you a nudge and said, maybe time to change course? Maybe you've been off the path. That was my own experience with loss, was that I was really off the path. Only I kept on ignoring the messages. Years ago, I was playing small. I was a people pleaser, and I did not like being rejected. And so I got smaller and smaller. And at the same time, I had shut down all my feelings. And as a result, my husband, my first husband, left me. It was the universe tapping me on the shoulder saying, time to change. But I thought I would escape that nudge. I joined a spiritual community where relationships don't matter. And it worked for a long time. I was in this heavenly state of bliss, and I didn't care about being in relationship, except that the universe was still working on me. My spiritual teacher was working on me. The universe, other people, opening me up. The first thing that happened is that my heart opened up. And so when I met my second husband, 13 years later, I was ready for love. But I also was aware that I had some work to do, that I needed to change. And because I really wanted that relationship, I did some early childhood cleansing and healing in order to make that work. And it helped. But I'll tell you, relationships are a work in progress. In fact, in a relationship, everything changes. Everything's impermanent. We are going through an amazing time right now of a lot of changes. The astrology is showing this tension between these two big heavenly planets. Saturn, which is all about structure and limitations, and Pluto, which is all about death and resurrection. And so the two of them are actually coming together in January. Huge forces that are influencing us, that we can feel it on a subconscious level. We feel the pressure. There is a lot of pressure. And you're also noticing it in politics. Are we going to stay the same old course? Or are we going to break through to something new? And then I'm seeing it on the personal level. So many of my friends are going through major challenges with their spouses, with life-threatening illnesses, cancer, kidney failure. It is stunning. And my heart goes out to them because their spouses may die. And that is such a hard, difficult journey. And yet, that's the way life is. Everything changes. Everything is impermanent. And so when you have a hard time, feel into that. The reality is that change hardly ever happens change in us or change in plants or animals hardly ever happens except when an outward environmental change happens, when there's pressure to make us change. We're quite happy to stay in ho-hum, in it's okay. It's when the pressure gets on that we make a decision. So I had a client who was married to the love of her life. He was the sun and moon to her. He was God incarnate. And people used to comment on what a beautiful, loving relationship they had. But the man had a bad heart. And he used to tell her, you know, I hold you back because she is a powerful woman with great potential. And one day she went off to a speaking gig. She went out of town. When she came back, she found that he had died. He had had a heart attack and he died. And since that time, she has moved into her full power. I like to advise people not to wait until they lose somebody, but that's certainly what happened to me. My husband left and I did something and it moved, it changed me, I changed course. And then I had to change again a few years later when my parents were dying. I had just finished that early childhood healing program. And both my parents, first my father from Alzheimer's and then my mother. And just before she died, she woke me up. Like, you know, I didn't even know it at the time. It was sort of in retrospect that I saw how my life had changed because of what she said to me before she died. And what she said to me was that she had regrets. Now, my mother was the poster child for living your life on purpose. She was an artist, she was a toy designer, she neglected her children in order to go off to New York and sell her ideas to these major toy companies. I just felt abandoned. But the message is live your life fully or die with regret. And I took it to heart, and that's what really transformed my life, was her final message. Death is amazing because it knocks you out of the normal routine and gets you thinking about things in a different way. All change does that. It knocks you out of the normal routine because normally when we're living our routine life, we're missing 90% of it. We're on autopilot and we don't notice things. It's only when things change and they block off a bridge on the highway, or you lose a family member, or you lose a job, that you suddenly are thrown upon yourself. And it kind of stimulates, it triggers a survival response. And literally your own body is waking you up. Pay attention. It's time to pay attention. I will be the first to admit that when you lose something, particularly if it's a person, you feel awful. You don't want to do anything. Some people even want to die themselves because they can't imagine living without their loved one. But it is an opportunity as well. If you can get past that, if you can treat that misery, that discomfort as a nudge, as a way to get help, to move forward in your life, to say, okay, what am I learning from this? What can I learn? Where have I not been living my life? And certainly if you lose somebody, it changes the dynamic. And, you know, it's like at that point, you have nothing left to lose. You might as well go for it because there's nobody stopping you. But so often people, and it's natural, they want to reclaim the past, to hunker down, to make things same or similar, because it is scary. Change is scary. To go into the unknown, to see things brand new. It's actually triggering to the body. The body doesn't, well, I can't say that it doesn't like change. The body is actually designed to handle change. Changes in temperature, changes in weather, changes in circumstance. It's got all the mechanisms, but those mechanisms tend to be pretty uncomfortable. That's their purpose, to get you to get off your butt and start doing things. So take a moment and think about your change. What's going on in your life? And if nothing's going on in your life, is something going on in the lives of your friends? I often find it valuable to notice what's going on around you. that maybe you can take the information from the sorrows of other people and change your life accordingly. That is, listen to it. It's like treating your life as a vivid dream where you actually get to make choices, and that everything that goes on in your life is significant, is telling you something about what you're doing and what you need to be doing. And that the life's inconveniences are opportunities to wake up, to say, okay, what's happening here? What do I need to do? Stop sleeping. It's time to wake up. Another way to look at change is as a sign of imbalance. That is not just a nudge from the universe, hey, you need to get on the right path, but that things are out of balance. So, for example, when you get sick, when I get sick, it's often my body saying, you're pushing too hard, you're doing too much, you need to slow down. Now, I've been pretty good for a long time about nipping that one in the bud before I get sick. I do not like to get sick. You have to listen to your body. And then if there's a change in your financial circumstance, either suddenly a lot of money and then you say, oh my God, what do I do with this? How do I protect it? How do I take care of it? Or if there's a sudden loss, this is again the universe and life giving you a nudge that it's time to change the way in which you are living. What is out of balance? And then, of course, love. Are you getting the love you need? Is your relationship working for you? Is your relationship no more? And is it time to get connected to love again? You'll know because you'll feel uncomfortable. That's the universe and your body's way of getting you to move. When I work with people around these issues, where their life is unbalanced, or they had a major loss, or things are not working out, when I work with people, I'm not there just to help you to get over the pain, the discomfort, to find the magic pill that's going to stop the pain. I'm there for you to move on to the next phase of your life, to figure out what it is that you need to learn so that you can really live your life without regret. That's what I do. I empower leaders and change makers, coaches and healers who are not living their purpose, to wake up, to move forward, to make a difference. So what's in the way? Why don't you do it yourself? What holds you back? Well, some of it's just inertia. It's like, it's scary to step up into your power. What was it Marianne Williamson said? Our biggest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our biggest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. And that's the truth. Our biggest fear is that we could do so much more, but we're afraid to do it. Why are you afraid to do it? Early childhood patterns. Maybe you're afraid that you're going to be rejected. Maybe there was something that your parents told you about how you need to be responsible, and to go after some harebrained scheme was not being responsible. Life's too short. It's time to step up, to take advantage of this precious time that you have. What else gets in the way? Well, lack of confidence. That goes back to the childhood patterns. You don't maybe believe that you can pull it off. I have found, both through my own experience and as a PhD psychosocial analyst, a person who works with people not only on their psychology, but their sociology, their social connections, that the lack of confidence is an inner game, and that you can change that you can actually change the wiring in your mind. So maybe you're too busy. That is a really, really common excuse. We stay busy so that we don't feel. When you're busy, you're too busy to listen to your head. You're too busy to notice how your body feels. And that's exactly the kind of situation that invites those losses, because the universe finally says, well, I can't get through to this gal any other way. Bam! It's also a little bit like dreams. Dreams, we don't remember our dreams, but the dreams that we remember, the nightmares, we always remember the nightmares because they are so powerful. And that's what change is about. It's so powerful that it wakes you up. So what else holds you back? Fear, family demands, putting other people in front of you, ahead of you, their needs first. And if you're a people pleaser, it's a really ingrained pattern to just put everybody first. And so when your body gets sick or some crisis happens, you finally have permission to take care of yourself. But wouldn't it be better if you did it before you had the loss? Wouldn't it be easier? Wouldn't it be more enjoyable if you could just skip the big crisis and move forward because of passion, because you have a vision, because you want to do something bigger to make a difference in this world? So other holdbacks, barricades to us living our lives is not enough education. So that's, I got to get this certification. I got to go back to school. It's a lot like staying busy. So you don't have to think about things, and you get to fill your brain, and you know exactly what to do, and you know how to get good grades, and you feel successful, but you're not living your life. You're still putting it on hold. And then maybe last, permission. Maybe you need permission. I believe that you need permission from yourself, that you need to give yourself permission. But sometimes you are so unsure, you need somebody else to confirm it. The voice of God, some inner dream, something to tell you, yes, this is what you're supposed to do. So if that's holding you back, start noticing. Look around. Notice what the universe is trying to tell you. Notice what you notice. Notice what shows up on the street, in your car. Are you being slowed down? Are you being called upon to notice something on the side? Are you tense and nervous, or are you relaxed? These are all signs of where you are. If your interest has been pricked, if you would like to know more about the work that I do, if you have a vision that you have put on in the closet, on the side burner, and the clock is ticking, and you're feeling the discomfort, you're feeling the nudge that you need to do something else, schedule an introductory conversation with me and find out how I can help you. There's a link over in the comments section. That's it for today. Be brilliant. And bye for now.